Stone Vet, the Stone Vet, the Stone Vet. I hit the ground running when I'm invading your country. It's still with honor and discipline.
What's up, guys? Sergeant G here from the STONED VET USMC. What's going on, guys? I'm glad you guys are here with me today to enjoy this wonderful show with you guys, man. Like I tell you guys, thanks to you, I cannot say this enough, but I am the #1 Marine Corps podcast in the entire world because of you, my audience, my people who come and listen to my show on a weekly basis, man. I thank you guys for your wonderful support, for being here and allow me to be able to do this and help educate you guys, right? You guys understand that I'm a huge advocate for cannabis, a huge advocate for CBD, psilocybin, you name it, natural remedies to help get us veterans off the pharmaceuticals that the VA continues pounding down our throats on a daily basis. Every time we go and see them, man. It sucks. We hate it. I hate it. Like I said, I went to the VA not too long ago and they sent me home a bag of medication. I had 50 different pills and I had no idea what they were for. Body rubs and everything. I was like, I don't even know what the crap is for. And so this is why I advocate for the medicinal benefits of just the natural remedies that are on this earth that are already growing for us, man. I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor, Rafa 180. Like I tell you guys every episode, Rafa 180 provides you the best medicinal grade CBD on the market, hands down, dude. It's processed in the only FDA regulated lab here in the Midwest. I'm super excited to have them as a sponsor. You know, everybody knows we lose 22 veterans a day to suicide, but nobody ever talks about the 35 veterans we lose to opioid addiction every day. Right. So every day we're losing 57 brothers and sisters. As I'm shooting the show right now, we're losing 57 brothers and sisters today, and it sucks. Why? Because they feel like they're alone and they can't do it anymore. They're done with this life, right? This is why I tell you guys, share this content. So like I say, go hit that like, subscribe, and share, right? Share it, because if it don't benefit you, I guarantee you can benefit your brother or sister that is needing some help right now, man. Like I tell you guys, we always need sleep, right? We suck at getting sleep. We average 2 to 4 hours of sleep each night. Why not hit that REM cycle while you're only getting that little bit of sleep? Go over to Rafa180.com. That's Romeo Alpha Papa Hotel Alpha 180.com. When you open it up, it's going to say time for sleep. Click that tab. It's going to take you to the amazing CBN products that are out there that help calm the mind down. It helps calm the mind down and get you ready for sleep. Go check them out. And whenever you go to check out, dude, after you've gone through the whole store and seen some amazing products that they have, you type the STONED VET USMC in that little coupon box and get 15% off your entire purchase, dude. You guys have been using it. The sponsor came to me and said, I'm losing money because everybody's using your code. Hey, but I appreciate you guys going over there to get the products, because I'm telling you, hands down, you're going to keep going back because it's an amazing products. They have amazing CBD products over there, man. You want some of the swag as well? You see that? The STONED VET hoodie? Like I said, it's still cold. It's still super cold, man. And for you guys that are in Florida and California sitting on the beach, I know you guys need you a nice little insulated cup. Go over there. When you go to Rafa180.com, up in the top right-hand corner, it's got a little tab called the STONED VET. Click that tab. It's going to take you to my store. Go pick up some swag, dude. I need you guys to purchase some swag, because without your support, I can't keep this show going, man. I'm super excited today, man. I'm bringing on another advocate in the cannabis industry. You guys understand that this is what I'm doing now this year. This is what I'm trying to bring on, is more advocates, more legislation. We have got to legalize cannabis on a federal level in our country. We have to do it, man. I'm super excited today. I'm bringing on Kirk and Ashley from EVERYSEED CANNA here in the Oklahoma City metro area. What's going on, Kirk? How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having us. And hey, we appreciate everything for all the vets that are out there. We appreciate everything you've done for this country, and you just guys keep at it.
Absolutely, brother. I'm super excited, guys. So, like I tell you guys, I dig around and I find, so Oklahoma, you guys already know Oklahoma has become a medicinal state, right? We have become a medicinal state. And this is one of the things that I keep telling you guys, that even though if they federally legalize cannabis, when they federally legalize cannabis, you do understand that it's still at the state level. Just because it's federally legal does not mean that everybody everywhere can smoke. It just means you're not going to be prosecuted on a federal level anymore, is what it means. And so if you are in a state and your legislation is not for cannabis, you have to get out and advocate. And I guarantee you, being a veteran, there's veterans all over this country. We are everywhere. You guys know that. But right now, I think they're saying an average of 240,000 people get out of military service every year. 240,000 people get out of service every year. So you can only imagine across the 50 states that we live in, if you are in a state and it's still not legal, you need to get with your brothers and sisters and start getting to the Capitol and advocating and putting this on a ballot. Like here in Oklahoma, what was it, Kirk? Like in 2018 when we legalized it medicinally.
Yes, and that was actually Ashley and I talked about that just the last week or so about the voter turnout. We went to vote that day, and we voted at the same place for years and years. There's no line, no wait, but Oklahomans showed up to the polls that
Right.
day.
Right. And a lot of people, that's what I tell a lot of people. I said, dude, we are the belt buckle of the Bible Belt, dude. Like we are hands down the Bible Belt. But let me tell you, when 57% of the population comes out and votes to legalize cannabis, the 57% came out and said this has to happen. And like I tell you guys, what happened is because advocates were out there knocking on doors. Hey, I need you at the Capitol. I need you to come to the Capitol. I need you to come do this. I need your help. I need your help. I need your help. You have to get out and you have to ask for help, right? We hate asking for help. Being a veteran, we hate asking for help. But you need to ask for help because if you are in a state like right now, Arkansas, it's legal in Arkansas for cannabis. But the senators that are there already said when it comes out to the federal level, they're going to vote no. They're going to vote no down. And I'm like, what? You know, and this is what I tell people. I say here in Oklahoma, I've already talked to a couple of representatives here. I said, I need to ensure that our senators understand the importance of this. Yeah. Why this is so important to vote yes to federal legalize it. I said right now there's two bills at the Capitol. You have the right wing bill and the left wing bill. Both of them are very different. But I don't care which one gets voted for, because what's going to happen, they're going to vote for it and then they'll end up changing stuff throughout the years until they get it right? Until they figure they get it right, you know. But for me, because I'm a federal employee too, and I self-identified and I told the boss, they put me in for a top secret clearance. I told them I didn't need a top secret clearance, but they still put me in for a top secret clearance. And on the last page of it, they asked, do you use any illegal substance? I said, what do you classify as illegal? They said, well, THC. I said, not in my state. I am legal in my state. I have my cannabis card. Yes, I smoke weed on a regular basis. Like, well, that's federally illegal. You can't do that. And it was a big whole ordeal for a whole year. I was fighting them. They tried to fire me. They tried to do this, try to do that. And I said, no, right here. Here's the memo. Here's the Air Force instructions. Here's everything you need. I self-identified. You can't hold my hand to the fire. I told you that I did it. I was doing it just fine for years before you put me in for this. You know, and so now my punishment is to be drug tested for the next, I got 9 months left. 9 more months. It was a 2-year probation. Is that what they put me on? So now I have 9 months left of them drug testing me twice a month for the next 9 months. I'm glad because it's coming to an end. So I've been sober for about 18, 20 months now. And so it sucks, you know. And so, but I told him, I said, when I go in for my last drug test, and I told the boss, put me down for leave because I'm not coming back, because I'm about to go and smoke so much weed that you're gonna be like, what the hell happened to Juan? You know, so what happened to Sergeant G? You know, and so, but I'm super excited. I got Kirk here. Kirk here well, you guys are the founder, right? You're the founder of Every Seed Canna, right? Why don't you go ahead and tell the people a little bit about you, a little bit about your background and why you created Every Seed Canna?
For sure. So for me personally and my wife, my wife was put on 15 medications when she was 18 years old. She was a zombie. It was not a good quality of life for her. There was times when she would just fall asleep in conversations. But it was illegal. Cannabis was illegal. So there was times in her life when, got off the medications with the cannabis use, she would do fine. But it was also illegal. So then there was times she had to go without, kind of like what you're doing right now, having to suffer through things that shouldn't have to suffer through because she has a natural remedy for. I myself am a former opiate addict and alcoholic, and it wasn't until I actually was able to find cannabis in an ingestible form that I was able to find freedom from the pain that I associated with my addiction. And so for us, we're both off all of our pharmaceuticals now with this plant. It's helping heal our bodies. And it started helping us in ways that we didn't know we even needed help. So we had already started making the edibles and different things like that. And, we do also do smokable products. But we were really encouraged by some folks to start our business. For us, we believe God made this plant as medicine, and it requires getting the full plant to get the true full benefits of the plant, like getting the CBN, the CBG, the CBD out of the plant and putting it into our edibles allows the body to be free and have that, we believe in homeostasis. So I like to say I'm continually keeping myself in a state of homeostasis.
Right. No, absolutely. And that's the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? I got, like I said, I got a brother of mine. He's an alcoholic. He knows he is. And his wife's been trying to get him off of it as well. He's a veteran. He's been blown up. I want to say he got blown up like 7 times in Afghanistan. He's roadside bombs and everything. And so he deals with a lot of crap, a lot of mental health and stuff like that. So easiest way is go to the bottle, right? You can get it anywhere, right? You can get it anywhere, and you don't have to worry about it. Being a federal employee, you don't have to worry about it. They'd rather you be drunk than stoned. Yeah. I don't know why, but I mean, whatever the case may be. And so that's one of my biggest things. I told his wife, I said, when I was smoking, I'd be stoned all day long. Like, I smoke to be high. I enjoy being outside of my head. I hate being in my head because of all the things that I struggle with on a daily basis, And she was like, really? I said, yeah. I said, you know how they got functioning alcoholics? Like, when I was in the Marine Corps, I've had plenty of functioning alcoholics that worked for me, that worked on heavy equipment, and then they get that shakes from the withdrawal. So I tell them at lunch, I said, go have a couple of beers. I can't have you shaking when I'm picking up this 50,000 pound piece of equipment to put a bolt into it. I need you to be steady. And I was like, for me, I was a functioning stoner, dude. I like to be high because I was able to focus on my job throughout the day. I could sit there and look at my job and focus on it and not worried about anything else going on around me. I was able to focus on my job, And I said, a lot of people don't understand that. I said, people think you get high, that's all you're going to do is just veg out,
No, quite the opposite. For some people, it brings us down and levels us out. Like, my first use with cannabis was, so I failed the 8th grade. I failed the 8th grade for mathematics, and I had to go to summer school to stay with my class. So I grew up in a small town, and I went to a bigger town, and in between 8th grade and 9th grade year that summer, I started using cannabis. I ended up getting in the math class, and then in high school, from freshman to graduation, I would win the math award every year. Little did I know that I suffered with a hyperactive disorder where I couldn't focus. And cannabis, for me, actually brings me down, levels me out, and allows my brain to stop and think about one thing at a time instead of 50. And so I'm able to think clearer. I'm able to focus more when I am medicated. And so there's a huge misconception about how cannabis affects people, for sure.
No, absolutely. And that, like I tell you guys listening in on the show, however you listening on YouTube or whatever audio platform you listen to me on, that's one of the biggest things. And you guys understand that it's breaking the stigma, right? We have to educate people. The biggest thing, the biggest lack that people have is education, right? You guys remember growing up, going through elementary school and everything, that knowledge is power, right? Knowledge is power. If you are educated on something, you're going to have an upper hand than somebody who has no idea what they're doing. And that's everything. That's anything in life, whether you have a cleaning business or you're Elon Musk and you own your own freaking spaceship or you make cars or whatever. He knew how to do it because he educated himself on how do I do this, right? It's the same thing with cannabis. When you look in the cannabis industry, you got dealers, you got growers, you got processors, you got people who are creating things and doing things, but they are very knowledgeable in the field that they're studying in, because it takes time. The more that you understand it, the more knowledge that you get from it, the better you are against somebody who has no idea what they're doing with it. And this is why you guys coming over to my Facebook page, I'm always putting educational pieces out there to help educate you guys. So whenever people start looking at you, frowning upon you because they're like, oh, you just smoke weed and you just drink. So, I mean, I'd rather go and smoke a joint than have a beer.
Yeah.
Just, you know what I'm saying? Just hands down, And a lot of people, I've had people on my show that said, well, I don't want to use cannabis because I'm a former addict.
Oh, that's a hard thing. Yeah, that I speak on that. Because me, I'm not a cannabis. There are times that I have to choose not to use it when I go out of town, when we go out of state. And I don't, I know what addiction is. I know what it's like to withdraw from an opiate or a substance. I know what addiction is. And cannabis, I'm not addicted to. It's actually the thing that helps me not be addicted to.
Right. No, absolutely. And that's why I try to inform them. That's like, I say, you
It,
understand if you use cannabis, it's going to help fight your addiction, right? Like, you understand if you use cannabis on a regular basis, how it helps you fight the addiction, whether it's an opioid or whether it's alcohol, whatever your addiction is to, whatever you're addicted to, it's going to help fight that for you because of the natural healing that's in this amazing plant.
I've heard so many people refer to cannabis as a gateway drug. And my wife and I are firm believers that trauma, trauma is everybody's gateway drug. Cannabis allows you to work on your trauma. You know, it allows you to be like, I can have a joint and go be a parent. I can have a joint and go be a friend. I can have a joint and go to Bible study. I can have a joint and fully participate, fully contribute, and be myself. I was to have beers and to try to do that, I wouldn't be able to function. I wouldn't be able to be present. So for us, there's a huge difference that, yeah, as a former addict, cannabis helps me deal with the trauma, so that way my addiction trauma responses don't happen like they did when I was given over to my addiction. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely, absolutely. And so, like for us, I mean, there was time when I was able to smoke. My own kids would come up to me and say, "Dad, can you go smoke?" Because I'm high strung. I'm very high strung. I have very bad anger issues. I deal with a lot of crap mentally, you know.
Yep.
And I said it's bad when my kids come up to me and say, "Dad, can you go smoke, please?" Because if I start yelling or if I start getting mad, they're like, "Can you go smoke?" And even my
Yeah.
wife will be like, "Have you smoked today?" You know, and they know it. They know it if I've taken my medicine or not. You know, and there's one time like you were saying, I went to a Bible study. You know, and I'm not good with people I don't know. Like I don't want to. If I don't know you, I'm gonna be very protective, very in my
Yes.
corner, leave me alone. You know. And we went to a friend of ours, a friend of my wife's was like, "You mind coming to my Bible study?" And it was like it's a regroup. So there's multiple people there, and it's a lot of there was a lot of parents and a lot of college kids that were there. You know.
Yeah.
And I went there and I told her I smoked before I went, and I was like, I got to smoke because I don't know these people, and for me to be in a room with people I don't know, I got to figure out how do I calm myself so where I'm not high strung, where I'm not overprotective, you know. And I got there and they started talking, you know, they're talking about struggles and stuff like that. I said, look, I struggled coming here today, but I had to smoke me a blunt before I came to hang out with you guys because I don't know who you are. And it's the only way I could calm myself down. I said, I love smoking weed and this amazing plant that's here. And my job, my goal is to help break the stigma. So people like you who frown upon, or for people like if either you or individuals you know that frown upon a plant, I want to let you guys know how it's helping me to be able to come out and celebrate the word with you, to be able to share the word with you and let you guys know like it's a plant. It's seriously just a plant that grows outside. Like seriously.
Put a seed in the ground and it'll do all the work.
It'll do all the work it needs to do, right? You just put the seed in the ground and it will do what it's supposed to do. And they were like they were like in awe, like, wow, like you really came out. I said, but this is the thing, you have to speak up. If you don't speak up, nothing's gonna ever happen. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't let people know this is medicine, this is why I take this medicine. And that's my biggest fight this year is for medical freedom, right?
Yeah.
To be able to take my medicine that helps me deal with my struggles that I deal with every day,
Yep.
you know? And
I
and I
teach a Bible study at my kitchen on Tuesday nights. It's a men's Bible study, and we all before study we leave about 30 minutes to where anybody that wants to can go out and have consume cannabis. And there's guys that do, there's guys that don't. They come to the Bible study, but the good thing is there's no judgment there, and then the people are able to be free, and then we actually discuss our traumatic things in life and try to figure out what we need to do to heal from it, move through it. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
No, absolutely, and that's the biggest thing. That's why I try. That's why I love my audience that listens in, because I've got a great audience. Got a great following, and that's the biggest thing is that some of the times they're like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to break the stigma. I don't know how to talk about it, and that's the biggest thing is that you just talk about it. Just talk about like anything else. You talk about like a car or planes or whatever you're into, a train, you know, a new TV show that just came out. You just talk about it. You just talk about the strain. You went and picked up a new strain, never tried it before. The terpenes looked good. The profile looked good. It smelled amazing. And I tried it and I liked it, or it tastes like garbage. I'm never going to get this. That's why I tell people, take a journal it. If you're going to, yeah, absolutely. If you're gonna start cannabis and you don't know where to begin, journal it. Journal it. Write down the strain. Write down the terpene profile. Write down the THC content. If it has CBD content, write down the CBD content. Write this down. Smoke it, and write your feelings. How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel relaxed? Does it make you feel high strung? How are you feeling after you smoked it? So when you go back, you can be like, I like that strain. It had this, and this in it. This is the terpenes it had in it. Because that's one of the biggest things you guys advocate, right, is the terpene profile of the plant, correct?
100%. We're strain specific in what we do. So before we start, that's a big deal for us, is we pick out terpenes that are very medicinal. We make sure that our indica strain that we pick out is super high in myrcene. That way somebody's going to get body relief and they're going to sleep really well. We make sure that when we do like our sativa strain, that it's not super high in the ones that can cause anxiety for people. Instead, we focus on getting like limonene in it. So that way it's a nice calm lift. For us, it's important for us because, especially if you live in a state that's legal and you've got genetics getting changed on a weekly basis, I can't go in and pick out a strain and just expect to know that it's going to have a certain terpenes involved in it. I have to look at the test sheets now, because with all the different genetics going on, it's important for me to make sure that there's three terpenes that I make sure, because I have my own terpene profile that works for me. I make sure that the strains I buy are high in those three terpenes. And Ashley has her own set, because cannabis is different for every person. It works differently for every single person. Our bodies are all created differently. So for me, like you were saying, we journaled till we got to the point where I knew if it had limonene, myrcene, and humulene, I was going to be set. I was going to get the relief I needed. I was going to be balanced. I wasn't going to be too much on the end of being high strung or getting sleepy or getting munchies. I found that those three really work for me. So it's been key for me to find out what my body and how I receive cannabis and what works well. So like with our edibles, we're strain specific. So you're not getting a mix. Your dispensaries, and if you look us up on our website, everyseedcannaco.com, you can see the different, what we put into our medicine. You won't guess. There's not THC stripped out of it. It's full plant natural meds. So it's that's a huge deal. It's the terpene. Big deal.
No, absolutely. That's the biggest thing I try to tell people. A lot of people are like, what are terpenes? What is a terpene? Why is the terpene so important? And like I tell you guys, a terpene is the smell of the flower. You go out in the woods, you smell all the amazing smells, the pine and the freaking ivies and everything out there. Every plant has its own smell. If you smell a bouquet of roses, it has its own smell. It's different from the lilies. It's different from dandelions. It's different from carnations. Every plant has its own smell, and that's a terpene profile. And you guys have to understand that. Like, this is one of the biggest things I try to tell you guys, that when it comes to cannabis, every cannabis plant smells different. And there's a reason why every one of them smells different. It's because of the terpene profile that's in it. And it's like Kirk was saying, he has three terpenes that he loves, that he knows is going to set him up to succeed for the day, right? And like I said, he's had to study it. It's not out. I mean, you can find different information out there, but you have to study. There's so many different terpenes, right, Kirk? There are so many different types of terpenes out there. Yeah. You know, and so
growers, what I've loved to see change in the Oklahoma market is I've loved to see that growers have gotten, you're going to find some that they're just trying to jack the THC levels up. But I love finding some growers in Oklahoma that really give the plants really great nutrients, and they grow it correctly and give the right amount of time. And they're producing very good, large amounts of terpenes in flower currently right now that are providing really good relief to And I think it's pretty cool how that's one thing I've loved about the Oklahoma market is switching it. Just let's not just focus on THC. Let's also focus on getting cleaner and higher terpene numbers. And it's been really good for the market.
No, absolutely, and that's what's great. I said, like I tell you guys, wherever you're listening at, wherever you're at, hopefully it's legal in your state, and if it's not, you guys have to make sure you guys get this on a ballot. Voting's coming back up in June, and it takes time. Yep. It takes time to get these kind of things on a ballot. It truly does, because you have to ensure that you have the right people helping you to ensure that it gets on the ballot. You know, you have to get with legislation.
You have to be unified, because you can have 15 groups in one state all trying to accomplish the goal, and elbows aren't working together. They're fighting against each other, and that's not good for your state.
No, absolutely. And this is why I tell you guys that in your community, wherever you live, whatever state you're in, I think Indiana is still illegal in Indiana. They still don't have a medical program or a rec or adult use program, which is horrible, you know. Yeah. But this is definitely something that you guys have to start working together and finding other advocates out there. Because why? Because the black market, I guarantee you, the black market is strong wherever you're at. If it's not legal there, regardless if it's legal or not, the black market is going to stay strong because of the taxes that they put on the plant, hands down. You know what I'm saying? Hands down, the black market is always going to stay strong because of the taxes that are out there. But like I said, if you want, you have, like here in Oklahoma, like me, I can't smoke, right? I can't smoke. I haven't been able to smoke for the past, it'll be 2 years this November, it'll be 2 years that I've not been technically allowed to smoke. I still carry a cannabis card. Why? Because I associate with individuals that smoke. And if they're in the car with me and they don't have a card and they decide to ditch it in my car or whatever the case may be, or if I get pulled over, I hand them, like every time I get pulled over, a cop always pulls me over. I pull out my driver's license, I pull out my concealed carry, and I pull out my cannabis card. And he'll ask me, he's like, do you have any of this in your car? I said, I don't know. My wife drives my car. My wife drives my car as well. I don't know if she may have left something in here or not. But I can tell you there's a possibility that I could have both a pistol and my weed in the car, or just weed, or just a pistol. But I'm making you well aware that this is a possibility but I am legal. You guys asked me, and you guys required me to carry a license, and here's all my licenses that I'm allowed to have in the state. And they look at it and say, okay, sounds good. Thanks for letting me know. You know, and that's the biggest thing, is that you want to be legal in your state. Like, you don't want to end up getting locked up because you neglected to get a card. You know what I'm saying?
And there's people that don't have that card.
Yeah. No, there's still people in the state of Oklahoma that refuse to get a cannabis card. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
That's your get out of jail free card.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was like since I've told you before, I was preaching at a church before we started our business. I even in the beginning of cannabis, Ashley got her card. I didn't. And so just because of the stigma, and I struggled even just driving with it. But then when I got my card, all that anxiety, all the shame and the feelings of it dissipated. I don't know why someone would want to live with that anxiety in their life.
That's what I'm saying. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm the same way myself. I'm like, why would you want to live with that anxiety of getting pulled over just because your tail light's out, or you know, you're going 5 over and he wanted to pull you over, and you have an eighth in the car. Why do you want to live with that anxiety of like, I can carry this, dude. I can carry up to like 3 ounces, dude. I can carry an eighth in the car. You know, with my blunt paper's right next to it, and I don't have to worry about it. You know, I don't have to stress about it. And a lot of people are like, well, that's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to, and out of this. I said, well, then you better make sure that recreational adult use gets on the ballot.
Yeah.
And you better make sure and you advocate that why you don't want to spend the $100+ to get your medical card. You know, does it suck? Yeah, it sucks. But hey, you know what I'm saying? You have to figure out, where is your balance? Like, you guys love cannabis and you love smoking weed, but you have to understand that there's still regulation there. The government still has the regulation on it. Do you want to meet that regulation? I mean, I like to carry my gun concealed. I like to carry it on me, and I like to hide it in my pocket. I don't want a cop to get mad and try to arrest me and be like, look, dude, I got a gun in my pocket and here's my concealed carry. You know?
Yeah.
And so it's crazy. So with Every Seed Canna, why don't you let everybody know exactly what you're doing with Every Seed Canna?
So our main focus with Every Seed Canna is getting full spectrum, full plant products out to people. It's very medicinal. So we do edibles. We do baked goods. We also do like caramel. These are all handcrafted. I do all the infusing in house. We do it all ourselves. I don't buy distillate. We don't put distillate in anything. So everything we do, we get full plant. Anything that has our peanut butter, the peanut butter, the whole plant goes into the peanut butter. It's infused in the peanut butter, and we don't extract the biomaterial. So you actually get the benefit of eating plant material too, which is phenomenal for your body. And you can't tell it's. Also do smokable products. We do different forms of Lebanese brick hash, and we make pre-rolls with the hash too. It's all clean, it's all medicinal, and it's all grown locally, sourced locally by local Oklahomans. We love it. It's great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So with everything you're using, are you just extracting the oil from the plant itself and using that?
We do, and we actually do infuse straight into oils also. Like we do old school methods on some of our products. We decarb, infuse straight into a coconut oil blend, and we use that for some of our products. We try to keep things old school. For us, if you try to get too fancy with technology, you start losing the proprietary terpenes of the plant. When you get the plant too hot, you lose the valuable terpenes, and you end up just getting THC in the plant. And that's not our focus. Is to keep the terpenes intact when you get to try our products.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And like you said, distillate, a lot of people aren't familiar. Why don't you tell people a little bit about what distillate is and why you prefer not to use it?
We would like to give a huge thanks to Rafa 180. Rafa 180 offers pure medicinal CBD and products made locally. They walk alongside individuals to achieve a healthy lifestyle with options needed by each person. You can learn more about them on Facebook at Rafa CBD, their website www.rafa180.com, or email at rafacbd@gmail.com. They truly believe your journey matters.
So distillate is a product that is made by taking large amounts of flour or trim, and they use a solvent of sorts. So there's different types: BHO, propane, ethanol, and this product is blasted through the cannabinoids. And what is done is that you extract. Essentially, you can go all ways. Don't get me wrong, you can get full spectrum distillate. But what you're going to end up with is a percentage. Every distillate has a percentage base to it. How much THC, and the other number, what people don't know is usually it's plant material and solvents that's left over. And a lot of people are allergic or sensitive to the solvents that are used to remove the cannabinoids from the plant. So that's what distillate is a really dense oil. It's a concentrate. It's a cannabis concentrate oil. A lot of people use it in edibles. Different topicals, capsules, and then a lot of people don't realize too. It can be sprayed on the pre-rolls to infuse them, put on the outside. And so it has lots of uses, but unfortunately, it does have solvents left in it.
Yeah. So there you guys go.
I can remember when I first started in the market, I didn't realize what distillate was, and I assumed everything that I was consuming was full plant products that was natural and safe for me. And that was just a lack of knowledge on my part. I wasn't educated in the beginning. And then when I learned what I was consuming and started realizing the reactions I was having from it, I needed something different.
No, absolutely. And that's the biggest thing, right? Like I told you guys earlier, education is key. Knowledge is power. Yep. You don't know what you don't know. That's what I tell my kids. You guys know, I got a bang of kids. I got a 19-year-old, a 17-year-old, a 10-year-old, an 8-year-old, and two 2-year-olds. And that's one of the things we tell them. Knowledge is, you don't know what you don't know. We can't get mad at you because you just didn't know, right? Yeah. And this is the same thing with you guys that are trying to understand cannabis and start learning how to use cannabis. How do I microdose? How can I make my life more comfortable living normally while using a plant-based product, right? How can I use cannabis to incorporate in my life? Is that you have to journal it. You like Kirk was saying, he's like, I didn't even know. I thought this was good stuff, and I learned it's kind of making me sick. Like, I don't like how it's making me feel, you know?
Well, it tasted a lot like medicine, and that was what I was trying to get away from, was something that tasted like medicine.
Right.
You know?
No,
but
absolutely.
If it tasted like medicine, then it didn't seem much different for me.
Right. No, absolutely. And that's the biggest thing. This is what I try to tell you guys and educate you guys on, that you have to have an understanding as to Why can this plant work? Why can it do? And like Kirk is saying here, he's doing edibles, which is great. I love an edible high, dude. That high will last you for hours versus minutes, you know. And and then you said you did you just start getting into making pre rolls now? Is that right?
We do pre rolls with we take our Lebanese brick hash, which is a phenomenal product. It's very medicinal. It's a concentrate without the use of solvents, and we actually chop that up. So our pre rolls have a half gram of Lebanese hash inside of a full. It's a full flower pre roll that we hand pack. Do all of it ourselves. We craft everything. We would call ourselves kind of a craft company. We don't mass produce anything. So.
Oh, there you go, there you go, and that's the biggest thing, guys. That's one of the biggest. Cause I got a lot of people that come to me and say, I want to get in the cannabis industry, and I'm like, what do you want to do? There's so many different ways you can do it. You can grow, you can deal, you can process. I said right now for me, transport. I said right now for me, I believe processing is probably the best way to go in the cannabis industry. You know, it's expensive, but it's nowhere near as expensive as owning your own grow. You know. And so,
for sure.
You know, and for you, I mean, how did you? What made you decide to get into processing the way you're processing now?
Well, and we clean homes as a full-time business. It's what we do to pay our bills at home. And so for the years that we've been cleaning, we've always left fresh baked goodies for our clients. And for us, the processing came about because. One, I needed the edibles. I had to learn how to start making edibles myself for my body. The pain that I deal with, it can only be resolved since I haven't taken an opiate in almost 9 years. And so for me, the only way to find body pain relief was an edible. You can't smoke away the pain that I had that I was dealing with. And so we started making them ourselves. And then we were encouraged by some folks that since you don't distillate, your product lasts longer. It makes my body feel better. And it tastes delicious. We really focus on, there's a lot of our products that taste cannabis at all. You just taste like our brownies. They're just like a really chocolatey, gooey brownie. We have some, you ever been to a Bucky's truck stop before?
Yeah.
You ever had their beaver nuggets?
Yeah.
We make infused, essentially, I mean, they're like beaver nuggets. They're phenomenal. And but you get the entourage effect with it. You get terpenes, not just THC, and that's a big focus for us. But we got into it to really get medicine to patients and to help people, to see people set free from pharmaceuticals, to help people get educated on how they can use cannabis for their daily use and get relief from symptoms that pharmaceuticals are really just masking.
Right, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. You know, a lot of the times with the pharmaceuticals, that's all they're doing is just masking. They just turn off that receptor in the brain to think, oh, I'm okay, I don't hurt no more, you know. And a lot of people don't understand. I mean, working with Rafa 180, like I tell you guys, CBD is an amazing product, and being able to use CBD on a regular basis and understanding it. Like I tell people, there's topicals. They have topicals, which are great. They work great for arthritis and stuff. But I tell people, I said, you have to get on an oil as well, because when you start attacking something that's hurting, you want to attack it internally and externally. You know, and similar with
magic with cannabis. If you can get cannabis to go through your liver, it's going to process it in the most beneficial way for your body, and oils are the way to do that.
No, absolutely. And a lot of people don't. I mean, like I tell people, I said, for me, I love an edible high. Like I said, the edible high, it lasts a lot longer. It lasts throughout the day. A lot of people don't know about the FECO, don't know about FECO and RSO. I said, me, I love it. I can take a drop, put it on my tongue, put it under my tongue, let it absorb into my bloodstream, and I'm good for the next 8 hours. Like, I'm literally good for the next 8 hours. Like, I don't need to roll a joint or anything. Like, I'm high for the next 8 hours, feeling amazing, going through life, cleaning, freaking mowing, doing whatever I need to do around the house, taking care of the kids. It's not one that is gonna knock me on my butt and I'm not gonna do anything. It's not like that at all, you know, because there are strains like that. There are specific strains. Like if it's a Saturday and you're caught up with all your work and you have nothing else to do, you just want to veg out and watch a movie, get you a high indica strain, get you a nice indica strain to hang out and just mellow out and forget about the day, you know, because can you do it? Yeah. I said, can you overindulge in cannabis? You're absolutely right. Just like anything else, you can overindulge in it. You just have to know that. Yeah, just like food. Just like food, you can overindulge in it, but you have to have a time and a place to do it. You just can't do it every day, you know? And so this is great. And this is what I tell you guys. This is why I love doing my show, because I get to meet new people. Like, I would have never met Kirk and Ashley just walking down the street, right? But I have an opportunity to promote what they're doing. What's that? Go ahead. What'd you say?
We live in the same town too, so we could walk past each other and not have ever noticed each other.
Right, not even have noticed everybody, right? Not even noticed everybody. And this is why I love doing this show, because I get to bring new people on. I get to bring on like-minded individuals that have the same goal as me, that want to help educate people to understand, hey, it's medicine. It's medicine. Let me show you how this medicine works. Let me help you get on the right proper dosage. Let me make sure that, because you said that's one of the biggest things that you focus on, right? With what you're doing, is that when you use sativa, you try to ensure that it's not high for anxiety, correct?
Oh, for sure. Like for me, there's certain, like anything with limonene, and limonene's found in a lot of sativa plants. And anything with that terpene in it does not make my anxiety go up. But there's other terpenes that do. And so for instance, like green crack, I cannot have anything that's got green or crack in the word, because my heart rate. But like we use a double lemon cheesecake in our sativa line. And it's a very high medicinal strain that is very calm on the anxiety. And so you get a sativa strain that you can actually, you get stuff done. You want to get up, you're motivated to get things done, but you're also not worried and having anxiety while you're consuming it.
No, absolutely. And a lot of people, that's what I try to tell a lot of people, because a lot of people get scared about trying cannabis, because that's one of the things they're afraid of. They're like, it's going to activate my PTSD and my anxiety and all this. I'm like, whoa, no. When you go, look at the flower. You go to any dispensary, they got flower on the wall, they got flower in the shelves, they got flower everywhere, right? Every kind, edibles, smokables, everything, they have it. Right, but you always tell them, "Let me see. Can I see your report? I want to see the terpenes that are in this. Or can you tell me what type of terpenes are in this flower, so I have a better understanding? Because I can't have this or this or this or this. I can't have it, like you said. I can't have anything that has green or crack in it. I just can't do it, because it makes my anxiety go crazy. And you, with every seed, that's one thing you try to ensure, that you don't have anything that's high in an anxiety, right? That will trigger anxiety. Is that right?
Like, for our daytime strain, what we focus on is pain relief and anxiety relief. And then with our nighttime strains, the indica strains that we use in our products, we really focus on sleep relief and pain relief, because that's the number one complaint when you lay down, is your brain being able to calm down to get rest, but then your body getting pain relief while you're sleeping. And so we really focus on, we use Skittles cake in our indica strain. And Skittles cake is a mix of Skittles and wedding cake. Those are both phenomenal terpene profiles for someone's body at nighttime. Huge deal for us.
Absolutely. And this is what I try to tell people. That's one of the big things I talk about. Like I just said with Rafa 180, they have a product, a CBN product. It's a CBN product, which helps ease that mind, right? Because it's one of the biggest things that when we go lay down, we're always thinking about tomorrow. I got to do this. I got to make sure this gets done. I got to make sure that gets done. But that's what I try to tell people. I said, what's great about it, it's not like it's not like an Ambien or a Zoloft that you take it and you need 18 to 20 hours to recover from it, you know?
Right.
And so when you take it, it's going to help ease your mind and help turn off your mind, so you can get to sleep. So you're not worried about what you have to do tomorrow. It turns off the mind. And when you wake up, you're tired just because you didn't get enough sleep. You're not tired because of the plant, you know? And I think a lot of people are kind of struggling with it, but there have been a lot of you guys that are listening to this show that have been buying the product. Rafa tells me, they say, yo, I got another freaking Sapphire going out. I got some Night Ops going out. I got the Sleep Aids going out, which is great. And I love it, guys. But not only do you need a sleep aid, you need something to get you through the day as well. And they have the oils as well to help get you through the day, whether it's just CBD or it's CBG. So they have the Platinum, which is an amazing product. Platinum's an amazing product. And then they have your Silver, your Gold, your Emerald, which is all carry CBG in it, which is a stimulant, you know. And that's one of the biggest things. Like I said, CBD has a whole array of different things. You got CBD, CBDA, CBG, CBN. There's so many, there's a lot to understand, to educate yourself on. And I know Kirk, who's been doing this for a while, he's still learning every day. Isn't that right?
I are educating ourselves as we educate the public, which is beautiful. Like if you have, and for any of your listeners, if you're on social media, look it up on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, Every Seed Canna Co. Because that's what we try to do. We educate the public. If you look at our TikTok videos, you're going to find different things about terpenes, cannabis use, advocacy, stigma break, name it. It's on there. But it's really a big deal for both of us to focus on that. It's huge.
No, absolutely. And that's the biggest goal. Like I said, so it's not just me. It's not just Sergeant G out here spreading to around the world. Everybody, even you guys that are listening in other countries, I appreciate you guys listening into me, man. Regardless if you understand me or not. But I know I look at my analyticals, and I think I'm in 13 different countries right now, which is great. I love it. I love you guys listening into me because maybe you guys are wanting to figure out more about cannabis or why it's important to me or why it needs to be legalized on a federal level here, you know? And that's one of the biggest things that I try to tell you guys, that you have to educate yourself. You have to understand the CBD that's out there. There's so much like CBD and CBG and CBN and CBDA and CBDV and all this. There's THC, THCA, Delta 9, Delta. There's so many different things. And that's why I tell you guys have to try it, because right now the big fad that's going around is this Delta 8 thing. It's great, but you have to make sure that it's being processed correctly, because if it's not, it's going to make you sick. And then if it makes you sick, you're going to be like everybody else and say, oh, that crap doesn't work. It doesn't help. It didn't do anything. It made me sick. You know, and it's like there's a lot of people who have tried CBD, and I'm sure Kirk has heard it before. I tried CBD and it doesn't work. And you're like, what do you mean it didn't work? Well, I tried it and I tried this and I tried that and it didn't work. I was like, were you on the proper dosage? Were you taking the right stuff? Like that's what I tried. Right. Yeah. And that's what we try to educate people. It's like, if you take too much, it's not going to work. If you take too little, it's not going to work. And that's why I love my sponsor, Rafa 180, because she will hold your hand and make sure that you're getting on the proper dosage. And that's like I tell anybody who's trying it for the first time, you got to give it at least 2 weeks. Just like any pharmaceutical the doctor puts you on. A doctor puts you on a pharmaceutical. What does he tell you? Try it for a couple of weeks and come back and let me know if it's working. Right? That's what they all say. Try it. Let me know if it's working. If it's not working, I need to figure out if I need to give you more, I need to give you less. Right? We got to find that balance. And if you're willing to do that for a doctor, why wouldn't you be willing to do that with somebody, with a naturalist that knows this, that studies this, that does this stuff? Why? Because they didn't go to college for 8 years and get a degree saying, oh, I know what I'm talking about now. Why? You know? And that's why I love my sponsor, because she's been studying it for about 8 years now. And she's been learning the ins and outs of how it works. And like she understands what people who suffer from Crohn's disease. She's like, let's not give you the oil, let's give you the pill. We have a pill format as well that would be very beneficial as well, you know, because Crohn's disease is horrible, dude. It sucks. You know, you deal with a lot of stomach issues and a lot of different things, and you can't eat certain things. You can't ingest certain things because it's going to mess your stomach up, you know. And this is what I try to tell people who try CBD: give it an opportunity to work. Let's make sure you get on the proper dosage, right? I mean, even with your edibles alone, somebody may eat it and be like, I didn't feel anything. Right. You know? And you're like, wait, hold on. Let's figure out why. Let's figure out what happened, right?
Yeah. And we love that because we've had people reach out and we help them figure out, do you have liver issues? Right. Oh, yeah, I have liver problems. Well, you're not absorbing. Doesn't mean it's not working in your body, but you won't feel the effects, you know, things like that. We try to help through it instead of it being, I tried it once and it didn't work and I gave up.
Right. And that's the biggest thing. That's what I hate to hear people is like, I tried it and it didn't work. Well, why didn't it work? Well, I don't know. Well, let's find out. Can we work with you? Yeah. You know, can we work with you? Can we work with you? Let's figure out why you feel it wasn't working for you, you know? And that's one of the biggest things.
A lot of people don't realize that cannabis, like, it works in your body. And so if you're taking a pharmaceutical along with cannabis initiates some of that dose. Like, for instance, if you're taking a blood pressure medicine, have high blood, so you're taking blood pressure to lower your blood pressure, but you're taking the medicine and you're taking cannabis. Cannabis is going to heighten the effects of your blood pressure medicine, therefore lowering your blood pressure, and you feel dizzy. You feel maybe faint sometimes when you're using cannabis and you don't know why. That's why maybe work with your doctor to lower your blood pressure dosage and then introduce cannabis so that way it actually works in conjunction with your body. You're taking a lower dosage and you feel better because of it.
No, absolutely, and that's what we try to tell people who are on. That's one of the things we always ask when they want to take CBD. It's like, are you on blood pressure medicine? Yeah. Okay. Well, let me tell you. Check your blood pressure before you take your pill and the oil,
Yep.
because, like you said, it doesn't. CBD doesn't lower your blood pressure. CBD regulates your blood pressure.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna regulate it, and your blood pressure medication lowers your blood pressure.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So when if your blood pressure is already regulated, why would you want to lower your blood pressure? So that's one of the things we've always told people is that if you're on blood pressure medication, make sure you test your blood pressure before you take your oil and your pill, because like you said, medication is to lower it. CBD, cannabis, regulates it. It doesn't lower it, it regulates it. It makes sure that it's in the proper balance that it's supposed to be in, you know? And that's the biggest thing that, and a lot of people are afraid. A lot of people are afraid because they don't know it. They don't know enough about it, you know? And that's why I'm glad I'm able to bring you on the show and be like, there's more advocates out there that are showing people, hey, look, help us break the stigma. Help us get this going so people got they have freedom for the medical, so they can use their medicine freely, you know?
Mm-hmm. And make themselves for sure.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Well, we're getting close to the end of the show, Kirk. Why don't you go ahead and sign off? How do you want to sign off the show? Let people know who you are, where you're at, and where they can find you.
If you're looking for us, one of the best thing to do is look on our social media accounts. That way you can see what dispensaries we're located in Oklahoma. Reach out to us on there. We can help you find places. We're based out of Oklahoma City, so around Oklahoma City Metro is your best bet. And we've been trying to get strategic about locations outside of the metro, so that way you can get access to medicine. So we're in like Hobart, Kingfisher, Enid, Ponca City, House, or some of the big metro areas. And then we've tried to spread that out. We're still working at it. We've been open almost a year. So, hey, if you're looking for full spectrum medicine without the use of distillate, you're looking for options, let your local know that we're available and that you would like to try us, because it really takes the dispensaries have to want us there. For us, we have patients that like us to be places, and we reach out, but it's really up to the dispensaries at that point. And I feel bad for patients. We know some that have like celiac disease, they can't have the gluten, and we focus on making gluten-free products, and we focus on that. So we would love to serve our Oklahoma patients. We love what we do. We really love hearing stories of people find freedom with the use of our, and it's real humbling for us for sure.
No, absolutely, absolutely, bro. And I appreciate what you guys are doing, because what you're doing, you took a step, you took a leap of faith, and you said, we got to do this. We got to help as many people as we can, and that's the end goal, is helping as many people as we can, right? That you're a caregiver, and you want to make sure that people are able to get the medicine that they need. You give them the medical freedom that they've earned, right? Being an American citizen, right? And I appreciate.
We focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the biggest thing, guys. And that's the biggest thing. I got to tell you guys that are listening to the show, you have to advocate. Stand up for what you believe in, man. Nobody else is going to do it. If you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it, and it's just going to go by the wayside, and nothing's ever going to happen with it. This is why I'm fighting for this. This is why I'm fighting for medical freedom for our veteran community, because a lot of veterans understand the medicinal benefits of cannabis. That's why a lot of veterans go to medicinal states to be able to have the medical freedom that they have. You know, I'm in a medical state, but I can't smoke because I'm a federal employee, and they said, well, you can't. It's still federally illegal. And so this is one of the biggest things. It sucks, but I said I got 9 months left, 9 more months, and we'll be good. I'll be there. I'll be there again. And like I said, when I'm able to smoke, the show's going to be a lot better. I can guarantee you that. There's going to be a lot more smoke on the show. And so, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. Kirk, I really do appreciate you taking time out of your day to come and enjoy this time with me and be able to share what you're doing, brother. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having us on. I appreciate what you're doing. There needs to be more people. And like I said, it's our voices. We have to use our voices. Thankfully, we live in a country where we can use our voices, and men like you that have done the things to ensure we keep those freedoms. We really appreciate what you've done.
Absolutely, bro. I really appreciate this opportunity to be able to do this, guys. I appreciate you guys listening in on the show. Like I tell you guys, if you guys are watching the show, you can see the beautiful Warhammer, right? That's the #1 Marine Corps podcast in the entire world. And that's because of you guys listening in on the show every single week, listening to my guests, and I'm honored to be able to bring on other advocates on my show that show you it's okay to smoke weed. It's okay. Right? It's okay to take a plant and use the plant and ingest the plant on how it's going to cure your body, because all of us struggle every day with whatever, our anxiety, our depression, our PTS, whatever we suffer from. And to be able to use a plant that can heal our minds from it, it's your freedom to be able to do that. And this is why I advocate for it. If you live in a state, you need to start advocating. If it's not legal in your state yet, you have to advocate. You have to get it going. You have to fight for your freedom, right? Like I said, us as a veteran, we fought for you to be able to fight for your freedom. Freedom isn't free. We're one generation from it being taken away from us, and you don't want it to be this generation, guys. I thank you guys for hanging out with us, listening into the story from Kirk and EVERYSEED CANNA. Definitely go check out his website. Let him get some clicks from you guys. Check out what kind of stuff he's doing. Check out the amazing things. If you got family here in Oklahoma, have them check it out and get in contact with Kirk. Like I said, I'll have all his contact information in the description box wherever it's at, wherever you're listening. Check the description box. You'll be able to get in contact with him. Check out all his content. Check out everything he's doing in the community. Like I tell you guys every week, you are important. Nobody can do what you do, and we need you here every day. Don't become a statistic, because guess what? It's just another check in the box for the U.S. government to say, oh, we lost another one. Don't be that statistic. Be the statistic to show that I fought for medical freedom and I ensured that everybody was able to get the medicine that they earned and that they deserve, man. I love you guys. I love everything that you guys are doing, man. Remember, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Remember, guys, here at the Stone Vet, we got your six.
They got us marching and stepping by my platoon, you get trampled. If it ain't raining, we ain't training, nothing changed by complaining. I adapt and overcome, I make the best out of situations. I stay alert for my enemies, trying to do me some harm. I fight for your freedom of speech and your right to